Yo, yo, yo. Good afternoon, everybody. Morning, night, noon, whatever part of the world you're in. Hope it's been a good day. So, I am going to talk about something. I am going to talk about something. So, I got to make sure that I can see what I need to see. And again, my name is Antoine Chambers. I am he. He is me. And hopefully you will join in for a moment. I'm going to talk about something that has really hit me hard in 2020. For many of us, this year has been quite the year. It has been one that will be unforgettable. And if you're going to hang out with me, feel free to drop your name in the comments. Just say I'm here because I'm going to share something with you that I think will help transform the rest of your year. I think it will kind of turn some things around that you never expected. But I need you to believe with me that the rest of this year will be the best of this year. Uh, the rest of this year will be the best of this year. But I need you to listen closely to what I want to share with you today. Because as it blesses me, it will bless you. So this is going to be a two-part situation. I'm going to talk about a little bit today and then talk about the rest tomorrow. But I need you, if you're going to watch, to just say your name, post in the comments, because what I'm going to share is going to help put you into position to win. And if you plan on winning this year, you gotta listen to this moment. So I normally don't take a text when I talk, but today I'm gonna talk about 1 Samuel 8:17 and verse 7. And I'm going to go through this and I'm going to finish the rest of it tomorrow. This may actually be multiple days, but so 1 Samuel 17 and 8 says, Goliath stood and shouted to the ranks of Israel, why do you come out and line up for battle? And I not a Philistine or Philistine? And are you not the servants of Saul? Choose a man and have him come down to me. So again, Goliath stood and shouted to the ranks of Israel, why do you come out and line up for battle? He said, why are you doing this? Why is it even worth your time to stand up for battle against me? So then he says, am I not a Philistine? And are you not the servants of Saul? Come, choose a man and have him come down to me. So this is what I want to share. And I shared it a week ago or so, and it really started to hit me. And I need you to think about it. For some of us, for all of us, 2020 has had a Goliath-like spirit. 2020 has had some audacity. 2020 has stood up and dared us to challenge it. So when we think of a year, sometimes we are not thinking as of a place or a person. We're just thinking, hey, this is this year. But 2020 has been like a Goliath. It has stood up in our face and it has said, why do you come up and line up for battle? In this season, some of us have lined up for battle against 2020, but the principalities of 2020 have still tried to kick our butts. And again, if you're going to watch, let me know that you're watching, because I believe if you watch this, if you just understand where I'm coming from, it will transition your year. So 2020 has been this Goliath, and 2020 has felt like it is in control of destiny. It has felt like it has had dominion because it's just been crazy. So in 1 Samuel, Goliath says, why do you come out and line up for battle? And think about that. It's like it's like what a modern saying is like, yo, did you just come for me? Like, are you really coming for me like that? Goliath stood up and said to an entire nation of people, So you coming for me, huh? That's how you feeling? And 2020 has been like you coming for me. And for many of us, we have let 2020 keep talking trash. We have let the circumstances that have um, been up against us continue to talk trash. And if you have experienced the moment where you're like, if you've experienced the moment where you feel like Goliath, 2020 has been a Goliath, just say me, just comment me. Because I know that there has been times this year where I'm like, yo, this is overwhelming. So imagine the children of Israel standing in front of this giant and being like, man, I I don't know if we can handle this guy. I don't know if we're going to come out of this. I don't know if we're going to make this. I don't know if this is going to be the thing that sets us apart. So he stands in front of them and is like, I dare you. He goes on to say, just choose anybody. Choose a man and have him come down to me. It don't matter who it is. And with 2020, and for you to know the story of David and Goliath, you realize that after a certain point, David comes and saves the day. And we're going to talk about what God has shared with me about that part tomorrow. But for today, I need you to get in your mind that Goliath gets defeated. The Goliath doesn't win. No matter how loud he shouts, no matter how loud 2020 shouts, you have to put in your mind that this year is not the end. This is just another challenge. This is another thing that I have to face, and I'm going to get over it. Not only am I going to get over it, but I'm going to be the victor, no longer the victim. I'm going to change my mindset. I'm going to change the way I approach what I'm doing because 2020 is standing strong. For some, yes, 2020 has been a great year, but for others, there has been depression, there has been death, there's been suicide, there has been all kinds of things coming up against people in 2020. So the call to action right now is to choose a man and have him come down to me. We have to face 2020 like David faced Goliath. And I'm going to talk about that more tomorrow. But for today, I just need us to know that though Goliath exists, Goliath dies. And he dies at the hand of a man that had the hand and the Spirit of God on him. The Bible talks about that we should seek first the kingdom of God. In 2020, if we are not seeking first the kingdom of God, Goliath will feel like he is continuing to take control of our lives. And your Goliath may not be just the pandemic. Your Goliath may be your mental health. Your Goliath may be your personal development. Your Goliath may be your finances. And it's shouting so loud. It says, why do you come out and line up for battle? The fact of the matter is, whatever you're facing that's keeping you from your promise will be defeated. It may shout louder tomorrow than it did today. The debt may go up tomorrow more than it went today. The struggle may be bigger tomorrow than it is today. It will come for you, but you will be victorious because the Spirit of God is on you. So, between today and tomorrow, I dare you to take a moment to pray and say, God, you know the Goliath that stands between me and my victory. You know the Goliath that is shouting in my life and causing me to feel weakness. The fact of the matter is, when Goliath stood in front of the men, they trembled. There was uncertainty. There was doubt. There was fear. Imagine how you feel when maybe the bill collector calls, or when they say that the rent is due, but you know that you still have less, you have more month than money. Goliath is more than just the personification of a giant person. Goliath is personified in the challenges that we face each day that we cope with versus overcoming. So today, we have to first realize that there is a Goliath. All of us have a Goliath. All of us have something that has to be defeated, something that has to be killed, something that has to be detached from in order for us to get where we're going. You know the story of David and Goliath for the most part. But this is the thing that we miss, is that Goliath was tenacious. We're not giving him any credit, but we have to understand that if Goliath didn't exist, the story of David and Goliath wouldn't exist. Your story of your greatness, of you going from shepherd to king, from you going to from the field to the palace, your story starts not when you defeat Goliath, but your story starts now by praying, by fasting, by seeking God, and understanding that, God, I have some Goliaths in my life that only you can defeat by my hand. This dude was out here throwing rocks. I have a shirt. I'm going to let you see my shirt. My shirt says, give me a stone. Give me a stone. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about give me a stone, because in this story, there was a stone that was needed. There was a moment that David knew that he was the man that was chosen for the job. You are the man, you are the woman that is chosen to defeat the Goliaths in your life. And not only in your life, but you may be the one that's called to help defeat some Goliaths in other people's lives. Your ability to take on the giant will change the scope of somebody else's life. But first, you got to take on your own giants. Little sneak peek into tomorrow. Before David ever killed the Goliath, he killed the bear and the lion. He fought what was considered to us probably as a big battle with the lion and the bear. But then he goes on to kill the giant. You have a giant in your life. You have to accept the fact that there's a giant that's holding your family back, that's holding your friendships back, that is holding your relationships back. And the only way to do it is to come down, face it face to face. Or in this case, it really wasn't face to face because Goliath was so huge. But you have to come down and stand in front of your Goliath. You have to understand that your Goliath will not win. It will not last. But you have to come down after you're bold enough to come down. And that boldness comes from spending time with God, from spending time focused on the fact that I don't want to hear the shout of Goliath anymore. You have to get so frustrated with the shout of Goliath in your life that you hush Goliath, you shut Goliath up. And if you're ready for the challenge of shutting Goliath up, join me tomorrow. I'm going to talk about this thought process that David must have had to stand in front of this giant that has been shouting and the other men feared. And David was like, I got this. Do you have this in this season in 2020 with the pandemic, with time feeling like it's going slow, the fact that we're close to the end of the year and some of the goals that you had have not been reached? Are you ready to knock Goliath out, whatever your Goliath is? So tomorrow, I'm going to talk about it. Like, I'm anxious because I know I have some Goliaths that need to be knocked down. And I believe that that God has ordained me and called me to defeat the Goliaths in my life. So I thank you all for watching. If you're going to watch the replay, comment, let me know that you're watching. But tomorrow is going down. Goliath is going down. All right. It's been real. I should talk to you all tomorrow.